welcome back to the studio where I'm sitting with a smile on my face after watching WeHurt wipe the defending champions in only 4 minutes. Guys, the hype train is real.
I do not feel bad about being wrong about that match at all. That was an exciting match. That was impressive.
Hype train was real. That was impressive flying.
Yes.
And Guy's holding out in that serve for such a long time. That was amazing.
Yeah.
But especially to see a match where both shield logistics expand out and then
they both just bring shields anyways.
Hey, we'll just bring shields no logistics. Who needs that?
Yeah, and we'd been joking about, we were talking about how, maybe they're going to bring some other type of logi. Yeah. No, that's whatever. We don't need that. ASB is all the way, essentially just buffers. And yeah, really, really strong performance by WeHurt. I think the Cena Thomas team there is learning from that match why Vagabonds aren't very popular in the tournament. They obviously can deal a lot of damage. They can get on top of people very effectively, but they just dropped so fast.
I mean, if you look,
and you could see there, they were boosting 75% of their shields all the way up every boost, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, the Vagabonds did get a pretty significant buff for the tournament when they got their rebalance. They got a shield boost bonus. They got a bonus to reduce signature radius when they're micro-warp driving, but it just wasn't enough against this heavy missile damage, and combined with the Vargur. The Caracals and Cerberus were really actually much more effective in this match than I expected. I was really expecting the Vargur to have to carry it, but the heavy missile damage from these cruisers really was actually swinging the match.
Who knew? Three Caracals versus 3 Vagabonds.
Isn't this the first time that we see a Marauder setup actually properly work to this extent?
No, we did see Seldarine's guys did it with a Paladin as well. So this is the second successful Marauder team. But yeah, I mean, most Marauder teams have been failing. You know, actually, I was saying heavy missiles. I'd never actually thought to check. I wonder if these guys were using the new Rapid Lights. Yeah.
That would explain.
That would actually explain the burst damage pretty effectively, which is very possible, and that would work really well. And it also would explain why they were able to apply the damage so well to Vagabonds.
Yeah, as micro-warp driving Vagabonds have very low sig.
We'll get a look when we can at the kill mail from the Cerberus. Actually, if you got, I'm sure the WeHurt guys are watching this stream. Yeah. Let us know on Twitter what you had fit to those, to that Cerberus at least, because that's going to be public knowledge because it died. We're going to be really interested to see what weapons you were using there.
Yeah, definitely. And because of this hype train, I will have a conductor's hat and a whistle the next time I introduce these.
I'm on the hype train now. I was holding off. I was hesitant about that. I'm like, they're a great team, but I bet they can't beat a Cena Thomas. No, I'm on the hype train.
They've given us 2 upsets, and their next match is going to be against Incursion Shining Network, who have also come from the back and just completely surprised us with 2 really dominant performances.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that match. That's not going to be till next weekend, but I'm really looking forward to that.
Where are these teams coming from? This is so exciting. Like, we're seeing like experienced teams just
coming
from
the internet.
Yes.
Somewhere deep within the internet, they've hatched and are ready to rain terror upon the new NEO2. I'm really interested to see our next match coming up. We actually have Dyslexis We Be May versus about as good as a German ski lesson, creating the longest match title of the new NEO2, I think.
That's probably true. So if we can go over the bans for that match, actually.
All right, let's hear 'em.
Dyslexis We Be May banned the EOS and the Vindicator, while About As Good as a German Ski Lesson banned the Ishtar and the Golem.
So once again, it's hard to make too many guesses about that. Yeah. EOS and Vindicator are actually 2 bans I would be very likely to choose if I was bringing Sleipnirs or something similar. If you were bringing a kind of a brawly setup, those are 2 very strong brawling ships. And then Ishtar Golem are just 2 strong all-around ships. And I'm not really sure what that'll tell you exactly about the German ski lesson team and what they're bringing, but definitely 2 ships that could get in the way of a lot of people's setups.
I think people are really concerned. We've seen a lot of Golem bans, concerned about the Golem that sits in the center of the arena, is untouchable, and just rains cruise missiles across the arena, while the rest of the 7 people do work as sort of an almost independent team with just the additional DPS on the field.
And though that being said, we've only seen 2 successful Marauder teams so far, and it's been Vargur Paladin, the successful ones. But who knows, maybe we'll see some success. We have seen a Golem survive to the end of the match, but still lose, and then we've seen one of them die as well. The Marauders, for anyone that didn't catch us yesterday and maybe didn't hear the mention of the rules yesterday, there's some special rules around Marauders in this tournament because they're so powerful with the new Bastion mode. We only allow 1 Marauder per team in any one match. Marauders cost 25 points, far more than any other ship. And if you lose a Marauder, you can't bring one again for the whole rest of the tournament.
So who lost the Marauders yesterday?
So the Greater Goon and Stim guys in No Boundaries lost one, and was it Smoking is Bad that lost one too? I think.
I believe so. Yeah.
MIF was the one that lost, but survived.
Their golem still alive, right?
Yeah. And then the German ski lesson guys were the ones that brought a successful Paladin team.
Yeah.
Well, we're actually about to see them. Maybe they'll bring another Paladin.
Yeah. I mean, the bans don't really suggest it, but they also don't suggest it against it either. So it's very possible.
What's your favorite new Marauder Bastion mode animation?
Ooh, probably the Golem.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for the Golem.
Although
the Kronos is pretty awesome too, and we haven't seen any Kronoses yet.
I like the Kronos. It's like a low
popping
rider,
its hood.
popping the hood. So I have a couple of tweets about this last match. One is from Karka Gershin at Karka Gershin. He's actually a member of the We Hurt team, and he just says, "Get dunked, CCB Dolan."
Oh, okay.
So there's some.
Why am I being singled out?
Because
he also selected his season.
Yeah, but
I was happy at the
He
end.
is now a member of the Hype Train.
Yeah.
Which is evident because Ascadian Sayero says, "CCB Fozzy, welcome to the Hype Train." So you are now officially a member of the Hype Train for We Hurt. But
I'm glad to be here.
And the last thing here is that somebody in Twitch chat said that these were indeed rapid light missiles.
Yeah, so that actually makes a lot of sense. Rapid light missiles, they've recently been rebalanced to provide a really interesting mechanic where they do a ton of damage and apply that damage really well for a short period of time and then have a reload and then do a bunch of damage again. It's something that some players can find frustrating, but if you actually work around it and know how to use it, it's very, very powerful.
Yeah.
And Yep.
Is it OP?
It's good, but it also has its downside, so I'm actually pretty happy with its balance.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and it's great to have mechanics like that, where it's really, really strong as long as you plan around it and use the forethought and actually put effort into taking advantage of it. It's not just a press button, receive, win all the time.
No, it isn't. We flew I think rapid light like scythe flight fleet issues.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was that was before this change.
Yeah.
We actually flew during the charity stream rapid heavy missile launcher Ravens, which is a very similar mechanic, but with heavy missiles instead.
Which are really great as well. Yeah. And it'll be interesting actually to see if we get some of those later in the tournament. They probably actually would be pretty decent in the tournament.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. The Raven, once relegated only to running missions, now a top-of-the-line PvP ship.
Yeah, and we've seen a couple of Navy Ravens already.
Yep.
Well, maybe we'll see it in the next match. Teams are on field as far as I can see.
They are indeed. And this is one of those matches where I'm sure they're kind of wishing that they'd ban the Dominics.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we've got a. Well, we'll tell you a bit more later.
Everybody has a Dominix.
No, there's it's Dominics versus Rattlesnakes. So that'll be fun to watch. Everyone warped into max range. We'll be getting to that in just a moment.
So yeah, we're actually ahead of time
Okay.
on the schedule. So we're going to be waiting a couple of minutes before we start this match.
Cool.
Just so other teams can be ready at the time that we told them to be ready.
So let's take a quick moment then to explain for anyone new to the tournament what these bars at the bottom of the screen are
Yes,
when the
definitely.
matches
That's
go
a good
on.
idea.
So when the match begins, you're going to notice a set of bars at the bottom of the screen, one for each team, or three for each team. There's one bar that is the defense. The top one shows the defensive capabilities of the team. The longer that bar is, the stronger their tank is, essentially. The harder they're going to be to kill. The inside section of the bar represents their total hit points, and then the outside section represents their ability to repair over time. And then the bar below that is damage. It shows the total potential damage that the team has. Oh, there you go, yeah. So the middle bar there, called attack, that's the total potential damage of the teams.
You're also pointing at a TV that nobody can see. So you're essentially just pointing into the camera.
Yes, I'm just pointing at the players. But as that bar fills up, as you'll see, because the match isn't actually going right now, it's empty, that'll actually fill up as the damage gets applied. So the more full that is, the closer to their peak DPS the team is.
By the way, betting websites.
Yes, you just saw the exact comp of this. We're not giving anything away to the teams because they're already on the field, thankfully.
Yes.
So it's not actually influencing that. But yes, betting people, you just got a good look at the ships. And the last bar at the bottom there is we call it control. It represents electronic warfare and other methods of disrupting the other team. So things like webs, things like energy neutralizers, things like damps and ECM and painters and tracking disruptors. And again, just like the attack bar, it fills up as that gets applied. So when you see two heavy control teams coming up against each other, often one will win the initial E-War battle, and you'll see its bar fill up while the others doesn't.
Yep.
So it's a great tool for both having new players just kind of get an idea of what's going on. Generally, higher bars and more full bars is good. Smaller bars and more empty bars is bad. But then also it provides a lot of really useful information for veteran tournament watchers as well.
Yeah. It's a far-flung step from our first tournament commentating, Alliance Tournament 9, where it was just like the lock icons on either side of the screen, and you're just like, okay, hey, his gray bar's turning red.
Yeah, you have to go off of just effects in space and all that when commentating.
Just guessing. It was. I can't tell you what almost all the effects in space are, aside from like Newt or Missile.
Well, then you have the problem that some of the effects look almost exactly the same or exactly the same. But yes, this is a really, really great tool. It also shows what electronic warfare effects are being applied to different ships. So it's a really, really great tool for watching.
And as we saw in the last match with the Cena Thomas team and WeHurt, they had similar health bars, or like health bars. They had Cena Thomas had a much larger attack bar, but WeHurt had a much larger control bar. So that was kind of a control team versus an attack team, and like that's not something that always is the truth. That more control is better than more attack, but in that situation you could see like how the control filled up and the attack bar for Cena Thomas then like dropped down because
Well, the
of
thing
that.
about the attack bar is you'll almost never see the attack bar completely filled.
No.
It's nearly impossible to apply 100% of your potential damage. So that's a bar that can be a little bit deceptive. You're saying like, oh, they're not applying half their attack bar. What a waste there. But it's almost impossible to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually a team that's applying well will be around half or even a third of their bar. As long as they're higher, is more full than the other team, that's what's important.
Definitely. So a couple of tweets from the hashtag NEO2 hashtag. _Eve says, it's good that the tournament is not at least running late. I'm almost out of beer and my team's match starts in 1 hour. So I'm not sure what team that is, but...
Starts in 1 hour. That's going to be Rampage versus the Reputation Cartel, so maybe he's a fairly challenge user.
Yeah, maybe. And at least we know he's enjoying beer, which is good.
Yes.
Yep.
So,
beer is good.
The match is ready. Let's get our predictions in. CCP Fozzie?
I'm going to go with Exodus here. I think they've got the strongest team.
I'm going to go with about as good as a German ski lesson, Solderin's team.
I'm going to agree with CCP Fozzie on this one and go with Exodus.